So, just Friday night, my daughter and I went to the local pregnancy care center where we painted those owls. So I had to explain why I did it, only because I have paint under my fingernails and I can't seem to get it out from under it. So no, they aren't dirty, and yes, they are dirty. That's what happens when you clean out paint trays, lots of paint trays. So here I decided this is it. I'm going to do NaNoWriMo. I've got to come up with which ones to do though. So off I went and I started writing down everything I could think of that sounded interesting to me. And the problem is that I didn't get them all. It's kind of silly, but I really didn't. There were so many more that I wanted to do looking back, but I had to stop myself. So I started with the Islands Book 5. It's the next one in the islands that I need to write. Obviously the Legends Book 2, because Andrea has been waiting way too long for it, and I've been dying to tell Sebastian's next story, so you know. And then, oh my goodness, there were so many. So Charming Chloe is the next in the Marriages of Conviction series. I've already got lots of plans for it, so that should be able to be done fast-ish. 50,000 words isn't that much. It's only about half that book, or a little over. And so I was like, maybe, I don't know. It was, guys, I'm telling you, it was so hard to know what to do. There are just too many options. And then Madeline 6. Okay, Madeline has, almost done. I'm right there, and I'm dying to write this story because this is the one everyone's been waiting for, right? And sorry, but the dogs are playing, and I'm not going to stop them. So say hello to Neville, guys. Then I put down so I've got a book I'm working on right now, Pugs. I'm not sure. I like the word players and a proposal. I got to come up with different players because it's not the kind of player that sounds like. And then obviously the Swameli books are coming, so I could totally do that. Dying to write Ezra's story. We need Agency 6. The sixth agency has been waiting. I believe that's Pointed Suspicion or something like that. And so I'm like, I really want to write Agency 6 so bad. And people have been waiting, so you know, right? And then A Ransomed Greta, that is my next book in the Ever After mysteries. It actually takes place in the 30s, between the 20s and the next series that's coming out, the 40s. And so, there are just so many options, all the options. I'm telling you, this was so hard. So I took a chocolate break because when all else fails, a little chocolate and peppermint solves the day, right? Yeah, let's just go with that. It was so hard to know what to do. And I just, because see, I could have done things like Verity's Valley or Dial W for Wrangler, and here I have Cassie, obviously, because people have been waiting for Cassie, and I actually came up with a solution for Cassie. So those of you who've been waiting and sick to death of the no Cassie-ness, well, So then the first thing I did is I went, no, these are ones that have already been started. So I had to set those aside because I had to decide if I was going to break the can't do it before. You can't work on something you've already been working on. It has to be new for NaNoWriMo. And so I thought, well, okay, I'm going to put all those that I've already started at least off to the side. And that gives me an idea of, where can I go? What can I do? What I want to know is, why didn't I have Cassie moved over there? That didn't make sense. So then I started putting the books that I have deadlines for over on the left, because I was like, well, these actually have deadlines, so I need to do that. And then I had 3 options. Ones with deadlines, ones I'm just dying to do, and ones that mean I have to break the rules. And considering I'm getting a 2-week late start, I was okay with breaking the rules, but I wasn't quite sure. And then I was like, no, I have to have a way to narrow this down, right? So that's when I said, no. Just no. And I don't know why I put Swameli over there, because that one's not started. So I don't understand why that one over there, but my brain thinks it knows what it's talking about, so whatever. I had already started Pugs, and that I left it there because I thought I may have started it in November, which would have counted in my book. But then I remembered, no, I wrote the first scene while I was in North Carolina, so that was in October, so that one had to go. And then the decision comes. Do I work on deadlines? Do I work on, whatever I want to work on? And so it actually became a thing where, no, we're not going to work on anything that has too much research. So the ones that had already gotten started got left. And Chloe, I almost made that one a definite, this is it, I'm just doing it. I kept touching it and going away and touching it because I was like, I really want to write this book. And I know what I'm going to write. I've got the plans. It's all set. I'm ready to go. And come on, we need another Marriages of Conviction, right? So I was like, no, I can't, because I think it's actually going to take some research. And when it all boils down to it, when it starts taking research, we got to say no. So then I was pretty much down to my last 3. Oh, and it was longer, obviously. Longer and research meant, not so sure. And then I realized, oh, wait a minute, a ransom granta, that's going to take research because it deals with the Anschluss of Austria. And so I was like, I'm going to have to do a lot more research than I've already done. So then it was down to Islands and Agency 6. And oh my goodness, guys, was this hard. And I finally decided that if I worked on Agency, it would be kind of like my personal project. You know, that's what Nano has always been for me, is that I get to do what I've been really dying to do. It's my project for myself. And yeah, see, it's like the paint was just getting to me. I'm like, ugh. Anyway, and then, but Islands, I am really anxious to write Mallory and Benjamin's story too. So I realized it's actually kind of equal. But then Mallory it should end up being about the right length. 50,000 words. So that was my decision. I was just like, yep, I'm doing it. It's going to happen. And we're going to make this a thing. So let's get going, guys. I chose lots of other poems, started them, checked them, started them, checked them. And then I went with Elizabeth Barrett Browning's How Do I Love Thee? And I was like, how do I write thee? But then that just wasn't me. I don't do me. So I was like, write it. Let's just write it. And here you're going to get to see my bizarre method for writing parodies. I really do go line by line by line and replace them with my new plan. And sometimes my brain just has it. I can see it and I can replace it, and it's really cool. And then other times I'm literally going line by line by line, writing this inane nonsense. And of course, this is probably like my worst parody ever. I'm just going to be honest, guys. I was going for something short, something sweet, and something done, because I didn't have time to do something well. So out comes the rhyming dictionary. The guy, Gordon McCrae in, let's see, is it on Moonlight Bay? I'm pretty sure it's on Moonlight Bay. Yeah. And Gordon McCrae in Moonlight Bay talks about a guy who wrote that song with a beer bottle in one hand and a rhyming dictionary in the other. Well, guys, I use a rhyming dictionary to do my parodies and my songs and my poems because I like things to rhyme well. And I don't care if it's cheating. I'm okay with cheating because this is a cheesy parody, which is really ridiculous. I admit it. It's not nearly as fun as The Raven or as 'twas the Eve Before Nano or any of the other ones I've done. We're going on a bear hunt. That one was fun. That one was a lot of fun. But, you do what you got to do and you just say, oh, well. And as you can see, I was writing pure drivel, even worse than what I ended up with. But, what can I do? So for those who aren't familiar with NaNoWriMo, and I say it that way because it's national, novel, nano. It doesn't make sense, but I do it. Writing, month, because Rima makes no sense. NaNoWriMo, it just sounds weird, but it's as close to National Novel Writing Month as you can. And you write 50,000 words in a month, but it's the 15th, and that means I have 2 weeks. That means I have 15 days to write 50,000 words, which I did the math on my blog, and it turned out to be 3,334 words a day. That's going to be fun. Now, in the middle here, I got messed up and realized that the meter changed in the middle of the poem. You've got line, rhyme, line that rhymes with the first, and then line, rhyme that rhymes with first. And then at the last section, it changes which ones rhyme in the meter. And so I was like having so much trouble, but then I realized, oh, wait a minute, this makes it so much easier. And I just kind of ran with it. But I'm telling you guys, so NaNoWriMo, I've done it since 2006. And the last couple of years have been really bad about not putting in my word count. I've been doing it, but don't actually remember to put in my word count. And that was like really dumb. So it says that I haven't finished, and I thought that I hadn't finished. And as I was looking at it while I was in there, I realized, no, I actually have finished these. I didn't not make it. I just didn't get it recorded as made, because the one year I was in Missouri, and then at the hospital with my mom, and it was just too busy. And then last year I just was, swimming and floundering, but I got all the words in, and that made me really happy, because as long as I know it, we're good. So then I had to go set up my NaNoWriMo project. And guys, I think I did this like 4 times. I cut out all the repeats because seriously, you don't need to see that. But I had to sign in, and they've changed the way it looks. They've changed so much, and it's not as intuitive as it used to be, and yet it's also more so at the same time, so it's kind of weird. But I finally got my project put in, and I had to write a synopsis. And guys, this is a terrible synopsis, but it was like, you know what? I have to come up with something, and I have to do it fast because the hours are slipping by. I mean, even as I am recording this, it is 11:25 p.m. I start in 35 minutes, and I'm recording the audio for the video. So yeah, it was kind of crazy, but I don't care because I'm excited. I'm dying to write Mallory's story. It's going to be great. And just as I lay down to take a nap, I got to tell you about it because it was crazy. I'm laying down, and there's this thing that I put at the end of Finding a Memory, which is book 4 of the series. There's this thing I put at the end, and it's kind of a, so the story wraps up completely, but then I throw in this, wait, what? At the end that isn't related to the main story that Finding a Memory is. It's not about Frank and Patty. It's something that came out of the past with Uncle Bud. And so I was laying down, and all of a sudden I had this brilliant idea. I'm so excited about it. So anyway, after I got that all set up, I went to start the blog post because, you got to put that poem into the blog post, right? And but I had to have the book set up on the Nano site first, and so there are just so many things one after the other that you've got to do. Seriously, dogs, really? I just enjoy the ambient noise of dogs playing because this is ASMR, I guess. Everybody relaxes to dogs being weird or something. I don't know. But so I got the blog post all set up, and then I was like, oh yeah, I have to set up a book because I want, I have to be able to share what I'm doing, right? And so one of the things I did was last night I made the covers for the rest of the series, where we've moved to green. So we started with kind of a tealish blue and went to kind of a coral, and then yellow, and then purple, and now we're doing green. And so I didn't have the cover made. I had my cover image and a couple of other people's. I had my cover image, and it was all ready to go. I just had to put it in the template, but I didn't have a title because I was doing Printed on Her Heart, and I hated it, but it was the only thing I had come up with. And then boom, I got the title. I was so excited about it. So I am doing book, chapter, and vows instead of verse. And so it's going to be, I love the title. It's fun. It's a play on words, which is always my favorite, right? And so but I had to go set up the book page on my website so that I could put the short code in so that I could have it on the blog post. And there were just all these little tiny steps that people don't think about when they realize that, oh, someone's going to put a blog post up. Well, there's so much to do that you have to do before you can even start the blog post. And so I was literally kind of pulling my hair out. See, there it is. Isn't it pretty? And then I decided I didn't like the formatting that Word did for my poems. So I had to change all that, do all the SEO stuff and the images. Guys, if you've never used unsplash.com for royalty-free and free photos, that's the place to go. They are the highest quality I found, and they're actually really careful to make sure that you don't end up with stolen photos, from what I can tell. I have never seen one accused of being stolen. They are just genuinely being given away by photographers who want to share, which I thought is super cool. It's almost done, and then it's time for me to, make this video. And I was like, so I go to get some of these videos that I had taken and upload. I think the one that wouldn't upload was the one of me with the sticky notes. It just would not upload to Dropbox, and I was going insane. So I started it all over. I canceled it and started it over, took a nap, woke up, and it was done. I mean, boom. And so I'm about ready to get started. I've only got 30 minutes to go. I have my document all set up on my laptop. I will probably, record the screen, counting down, because why not, But other than that, we're going to do a super fun thing here, and I'm going to see if I can do all my normal work. That's the challenge. The challenge this year, I always challenge myself. Sometimes it's write in first person, or write a sci-fi, or write a pirate book that's Christian. How do you do that, right? I've had lots of them. Really sappy romance. I made myself do that once. Well, this time it's do all your normal work and add a double nano on top. And so we will see if this works. Got my tracker up there, all sitting pretty, and we're going to take a chance. But man, guys, I'm a little nervous. I could use all the prayers you've got for me, but I'm excited because it's time to write my last book in the Independence Islands.